Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will see how to take the backup of the ETCD database and how to restore it. This is the very important questions as far as the CKA exam is concerned, and these questions carry a high weightage. So you need to understand this, as this is the very easiest thing and you can score a good marks on it. So you can say that for the exam prospect, this is very important. And recently I completed my CKA certifications on 28th of June 2021. So I am going to release another video in which we will instruct or provide you some important tips that will be very useful before you go for the CKA exam. You should have understanding how the exam format and what is the time management for this exam and how to tackle the exam questions managing in a less time. So before wasting our time, just jump into to understand what is the ETCD database. So you can see this is my certificates for the CKA certifications that I completed on 28th of June 2021. I have some other certifications also that I completed this year. That is the a certification that is related with the DevOps professional for the AWS, Solution Architect Associate, and the Developer Associate. And soon I will release a video in which I will provide you informations that how to prepare for these examinations. But in this video, our main intention is to provide you the informations about the what is the ETCD database and how to take the backup and how to restore it. So the session will be that I am covering today is give you informations about what is the ETCD database and how to take the backup, and in case of any disaster happen in the cluster, how to restore that particular database that you take as a backup. And of course some of the important tips on the ETCD so that will be very useful for the exam prospects. Now coming to the ETCD database, because you need to understand what is this database is all about and why it is required to take the backup. You know that whenever you execute a CTL kubectl command, that will getting all the informations from the etc database. Even the cluster code component, the main component, the kube API, always interacting with the etc database to fetch all the informations from the etc database, so that you can see that all the informations whatever you are getting by the kubectl command is getting from the etcd database. And so managing this database is a very important thing when you are talking about the managing the etcd cluster, Kubernetes cluster, because the etcd database is not a main part of that get deployed for building the cluster. This is some separate entity, and etcd database is used for other component with the other components as well. So you can say that this is not a main part. It means this is you can fetch from the etcd binaries from the where etcd supports for different tools as well. So for now, what is the etc? You can say this is the term that taken from the Linux, because in the Linux environment you know that the etc is a folder where Linux keep all the configuration related file. So this is the word taken from the Linux folder name, and D that stands for the distribution. So you can say that you can manage the etcd server on the different server locations, and where you can do a load balancing as well with the API Cube API server. So it's not it's only the provision to put into a single server. You can for the high availability setup, you can manage the ETCD database in a distributed way. So ETCD is a distributed reliable key value store that is simple, secure, and fast. So it only stores the key and the value. All the informations that we store for the in the Kubernetes cluster is from the is we fetching from the ETCD server, ETCD database itself. So ETCD database that store information in a key value format. This is the first thing. The ETCD database store informations regarding the cluster such as nodes. So every time when you create a node, ETCD have all the informations like how many node this cluster have, how many ports on particular node have, how many ports in the particular namespace we created. So all the data that is related with the configurations, that is related with the securities, that is related with the accounts, role binding, cluster role binding. So you can say that all the informations that we are getting from the ETCD database. So this is the very required thing to take and to take the backup as well. So every informations. ETCD start, you can say that listens by default on a 23779 by default. So in a summarized way, if we say it is a distributed reliable key value store that is simple, secure, and fast. There are many containers being deployed and destroyed from nodes on a daily basis, and so need to maintain the information about the different nodes, what container is on which node, what time it was deployed, etc. All the informations are stored in a high available key value stores known as ETCD. So ETCD is a database. You can, so it's only store the informations that have the key and the value. So it's a very fast database. Whenever you request for any information, it will fetch at the same time and give you the output on that. So what if you talk about the role of the ETCD database? As I already mentioned, it's whatever you are typing through the kubectl command and asking for any request from the kube API. Kube API is interacting with the ETCD and fetching the information. So in the master cluster, only the kube API is a cluster core component which interacting with the ETCD. None of the other component like the kube scheduler and the kube controller not interacting any way directly with the ETCD. It's for any information. It is if the kube controller or scheduler require, it will interacting with the kube API. And the kube API is interacting with the ETCD. So depending on how you set up your cluster, ETCD is deployed in a differently throughout the cluster. We will discuss in the further video about the Kubernetes deployment, and then we will see about it. If you deploy do a setup in a kube ADM way using the kube ADM, so it will deploy as a pod in the kube system namespace. So you can say that, and this is a static pod. So KubeADM will create etc in a static pod. So now we are jumping to do some hands-on to see how we can take the ETCD backup, and in case of any disaster happen to the cluster, in the same way we will try to restore it. So we will see what is how many ports are available before the disaster happens, and how to take the backup. And I will going to provide you also the tip and tricks for the ETCD, that how many types of questions they will ask you in the ETCD for the ETCD in CKA exam, and that will be very useful to you. So I am switching into my command prompt to see how to take the backup of the ETC server. Okay, now jump to take the backup of the ETCD database, which is the main concern of these particular sessions. But before that, please subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, click on the bell icon to get all the notifications whenever I upload any video, and also like my video and share with your friends also. So before wasting any time, just start taking the backup of the ETCD database. So ETCD CTL, which version currently we have. So the API version is currently we have 2, but we required version 3 to take the backup of the database. The snapshot will not work for the API 2, so we will take use the API version 3 for this. Let me check the ETCD, which is deployed as a static pod, kubectl. It will be in kube system namespace get pod. It will list all the pods, so you can see the ETCD, the kube API server, the kube controller, and the kube scheduler. All are deployed as a static pod because this is the deployment which has been done by using the kube ADM tools. So let me describe the ETCD server to check all the configurations that it have. kubectl, kube system namespace, and then describe the pod, that is ETCD. So here you can see all the informations we have for the ETCD. You can say give all the informations, whatever the key, the certificates that has been used. You can get the informations regarding the image that is used for this, which version of the ETCD is currently running into the system. Before proceeding to take the backup of the ETCD server, let's monitor the environment first. So currently we have 2 deployments available in this environment. That one is the blue and other is the green. Okay. So for the blue we have 3 pods, and for the red we have 2 pods available. Now we are going to run the same command again, which will provide us the information about the ETCD configurations. Now I am jumping to the for the documentations to take the command ETCD snapshot, because documentations will be available in the exam. So because we can't remember all the commands, so it is a good thing that, but you have to be familiar where the informations is available. This is the very important things, because you can see that this is a kind of trap also. So you should be very familiar with the content, which content is located at which place, so you can jump and do the activities what you want to perform. So now I am going to take the backup of the ETCD, and CA certificate file is required. The CA certificate file, you can find it from here. Just copy it and put it into the notepad. Now the certificate file you will find it from here. This is the certificate file of the ETCD database. Copy it and paste it at this location. Now the key you will find from here. Just copy it and put it here. Also the database file name for which we want to copy the file name of the backup database, so you need to put the value as well. copy all the content and paste it here. So you can say that this particular locations, the backup database of the ETCD is now taken. Now you need to restore the database as well. For this, let me do something at the back end so that ETCD will not respond. So I am doing it in scan window. So now kubectl, you can assume that something bad happened, and now the ETCD server is not responding. Luckily we taken the backup of the ETCD, so we are at good positions to just restore it. So you can see that in the default name is, for the default namespace, the deployment, there is no deployment available. Previously we have 2 deployments available. You can check kubectl get pod. So you are not able to find, but the informations that ETCD is providing is now no more. So we have to restore the whatever the backup we have taken for the ETCD. So now I'm going to look for the command. So just copy this command and place it into notepad to modify the content. So we are restoring and we are taking the backup at this particular position. So in the snapshot we just replaced it, and for the endpoint, at the endpoint we are just moving our database to a particular locations. So we will use data dir is equal to var lib, and the path you can put anything, the file, the folder name etcd, you can say backup. Just copy it and paste it. So you can see that the whatever we use this database, etcd database, as a backup at the location opt, inside the opt folder. So now it's moved to the var lib etcd backup, and here also you can find all the informations that either this backup has been taken or not. So cd var lib ls. So you can see that all the folder has been created, and the etcd folder which previously was used is also get here. You can get all the informations like the path database backup has been moved from opt to varlib. So one more important thing that we need to do so that the database get restored, we need to check the definition file of the etcd. For this, we go to etcd etc Kubernetes and manifest. Here you will find all the configuration file, which is a static pod. Just use the vim editor to edit this etcd.yml, and you need to change the path because you currently place the backup file, the restored backup file, at different locations. So here you will find all the informations. This is the host path. Previously it was inside that etcd. Now you have you changed it and you use the backup. This is the same path which we mentioned here, etcd backup. So we placed the backup file into this particular path, and we are getting the informations from this particular locations. Previously it was from the etcd. Now it is currently replaced it in the etcd backup. So we need to change the configuration file as well. So when we save it, when we save this file, as this is the static pod, it will get all the informations and it will do a proper linking. So if we check the docker ps and grep for etcd, here you will find, okay, I think all the things, there is nothing pending. So linking has been established. Now we can check kubectl get deployment. Okay, now you see that the information has been restored, and whatever you backup is now is restored and working correctly. So do one more check, kubectl get pod, is the pod available or not. Okay, all the things are now working fine, because all the informations has been restored, and for the etcd, and all the cluster is now working perfectly fine. So this is the main thing. And for the exam prospect, I can say that the certificate file that we used, maybe in the exam they will provide you the certificate file location, so you have to use that file locations. If the file locations of the certificate, the key file is not mentioned in the question, then you need to use in the similar way that I demonstrate you. If it is mentioned, then instead of using the certificate file, you need to use the locations where the exam asking you to use the certificate file. So this all. So if you like my video, just subscribe to my channel and share with your friend as well. Thank you for watching this video, and soon I will going to release the tips and tricks for the CKA exam, which is very important. So you can see that this is the continuation video, and I'm planning to give you all the information regarding the Kubernetes also. So I am going to prepare a course for this as well. So subscribe my channel, and share with your friend, and don't forget to press on the bell button so that you can get the latest uploaded video from my side. You will get a notification on this. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.